goes the encoder. And you're good to go.
Unfortunately, we lost somebody who is a major person inside of the wrestling community. Animal of the Road Warrior / Legion of Doom passed away this week. 60 years old. We'll get into talking about that. Clash of Champions is the newest next WWE pay-per-view. We're going to be making our pro wrestling scorecards picks regarding that. Z was supposed to be on WWE's Thunderdome. We're going to get the information on that and why he was not, we think. We don't know. This week, as we
break the ring down.
Yay! Breaking the ring down. Ring breaking.
Oh, what hard times are, Daddy?
Rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. You just made the list.
This right here is a family.
Hey, this is professional wrestler and professional podcaster Colt Boom Boom Cabana.
My name is Killer Cross.
This is The Smoke Show, Scarlett Bordeaux.
What's up, guys? The F Machine, Brian Cage.
This is Ryan from Pro Wrestling Tees.
Sadly, you are not listening to The Art of Wrestling, but you made a decent choice because you're listening.
You are now listening to...
And you're listening to...
You listen to Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring. Bring it down.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the most inappropriate pro wrestling show in the motherfucking world. You're listening to Breaking Down the Ring. We are your ring crew.
The champion, Snitty.
The all amputated one, Koenig 19, because I don't have any arms apparently.
And the non-amputated anything, Z.
And me, the almighty one, Mikey himself. Obviously, we're going to get into Animal. We're going to talk a little bit about that, talk about some memories that we have from watching Road Warrior / Legion of Doom, however you got into them. But everyone knows them as the Road Warriors for many reasons. But first, I want to kick off with Z hit us up like on Wednesday or Tuesday saying that he was going to be in WWE's Thunderdome for SmackDown. Z, what's the story on that, brother?
All right, so it was either on Twitter, on Instagram, I happened to pull up the app as they posted the link for the Thunderdome. So I'm like, I'll give it a try. Hit the link, filled everything out, and for the first time since they've opened the Thunderdome, it said, you've been accepted. Expect your invitation via email. So I get an email that says, basically at 7:45, click this link and you will join the call. So day of, it's 7:38. I'm like, I wonder if there's a lobby or something. If I click this link now, they'll let me in early. I click the link and it says, sorry, the Thunderdome is full. So I keep refreshing because it does say if you get kicked out, you have to rejoin. So from 7:38 until the time the show actually started, so 8 o'clock, I refreshed, and nothing. So I gave up. Fuck the Thunderdome. They're pieces of shit. That's why when you sent the message, you were like, oh, has anybody seen Z yet? No, you fucking didn't because they're fucking pricks. I would have clicked the link the minute they sent it to me if that's what I had to do to get in. You know what I mean?
Right, just to have it open.
Yeah, it was bad because I was angry. I mean, I've heard other people's reviews and perspectives on it, and a lot of it I heard is false, the whole telling you who to cheer for and shit like that. So I kind of wanted to experience it for myself, and for the show, just to kind of get an idea of what it actually is about. And nope, still nothing. So,
oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I probably would have gotten
that's a
kicked off
fucking
anyway
dick
because
game.
I was driving home from Indiana, but you know, I would have tried. I was wearing a high vis shirt. They'd have seen
Z
me.
with his phone like this.
Well, no, like it's an old school F-150, so you know the where you reset the trip, it's got the little like button that sticks out. So I just turned my phone sideways, put it up on the dash.
Oh, properly.
Exactly. And put it up right in between there. And it works just fine. It's like a brand new car with little just TV right there.
Fair. So do you think you're going to try again?
Oh, I did. I tried again for Clash Champions and they said no. So I'm over it. I will not be trying again. I mean, maybe like the next time they, you know, it says WWE posted 1 minute ago, I might, but you know, I'm over it at this point. I've had so much disappointment between that and Raw. So, you know.
What do you mean? You've been disappointed by Raw?
No way.
Is absolute trash right now.
Absolute
Every other
Well,
wrestling
duh.
show on TV is really good right now, and Raw is absolute trash. It makes no sense at all. Especially because the same two people that run SmackDown run Raw. So why are they so far apart on fucking ideas?
Well, because, man. That's it. That's all I got. Because.
No, Edge is helping write one, and Daniel Bryan's helping write the other. That's the only difference between the two shows.
So, Nick, how does your friend feel about Leo Mysterio?
Say what?
How's your friend doing with the whole Leo Mysterio thing?
Well, he, you know, we had to verify her age before we, you know, made any comments. So, you know, he's not a pedophile or anything. Promise.
So it's not like he's Austin Theory.
He still hit that.
No.
She's 19.
Yeah, so it's fine.
It's not like he's Velveteen Dream.
Are you next to me, or are you like down here?
In my view, I'm like.
Yeah, right here, right?
Yeah, like up to your
Right.
left.
I'm up to
You're right. Smitty's like next to me, and then Nick's over further, and then oh wait, no, because I wonder what it looks like on the normal. I haven't even looked on what it looks like on Facebook. I should probably share the link, huh?
Yeah.
Share the stream.
People can watch us.
And then tell me what
man.
order we're in, so I can point the correct way from now on.
I'm gonna do that. Yes, I am. All right, let's make sure this is muted. There we go. Okay, so how it looks is you're in the top left. I'm on the top right. Smitty is right blowing you, and then Nick's blowing me. Below me, sorry. Yeah. So that's what it looks like. All right, so let's talk about a very sad day in wrestling on the 22nd of September. Joseph Laurinaitis, also known as Animal from the Road Warriors or Legion of Doom's Road Warrior Animal, passed away. Good thing is, I mean, I guess as good as you can get. It's natural causes. Again, 60 years old. He was at the Margaritaville Resort in Missouri. You know, this dude has probably one of the greatest lineages, legacies in professional wrestling. I mean, the Road Warriors had like 15 tag titles across the world in different promotions. They have a pop, you know, when the fans cheer for an entrance, you know, named after him. It's called the Road Warrior Pop because the fans were so loud when the Road Warriors came out that it was just designated that there was a Road Warrior Pop if you ever got something that loud. You know, a lot of people say the loudest that they have heard since like the original Road Warrior Pop is when the Hardys came back at WrestleMania. So you know how loud that was as a recent memory. There you go. We're referring to, that's where it came from, is something about that loud, if not louder. I just kind of want to talk about Road Warriors, any specific memories or anything that stand out to you as a pro wrestling fan. Obviously, very iconic, the shoulder pads, the face paint, the mohawk, the reverse mohawk. They even had a different, they had a dark side of the ring involving Hawk of Road Warriors. So you got to hear a lot about how they started, how they were bouncers, and someone like they went to the gym and everything like that. And someone's like, "Oh, that's a great idea. We should use you." So Smitty, I'll start with you because I know you're heading into work. So I want you to go first before you disappear. Give us some memory or memories of the Road Warriors to you.
So one of the first ones that came to mind was the feud between Animal and Hawk that led to LOD 2000. So he ended up managing them. And the second one was like one of my earliest memories of the Road Warriors is at Hog Wild when they entered on those when everybody entered on the motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Road Warriors are the ones that stood out more than anybody else on those like entering the ring on the motorcycles during Bike Week.
All right.
Also, a fan, like they've won every tag team title that was available to them for the most part, except the ECW titles. That's the only tag titles they never won.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy to think of. They have won. Yeah, they've won so many different titles. Z, what do you? Your thoughts and memories on the Road Warriors or anything specific to Animal?
I remember. I mean, as far as the Road Warriors go, goes back to AWA Saturday mornings watching. AWA, NWA. They were the original kind of tweener. Like they were supposed to be a bad guy, but they were so cool looking that everybody couldn't help but cheer them. Like like you already said about the Road Warrior pop. Every time their music hit, it was like Austin or The Rock was coming out every time. They were that over. It was awesome. As far as matches go, I mean, I remember the scaffolding match between the Midnight Express and Hawk and Animal. Like, I remember watching it live as a kid, like, just bouncing on the edge of my seat because I had never seen it before. I mean, quite honestly, nowadays, I think it's a really dumb concept. But back then, it was, the shit. Yeah, I mean, and just to hear all these stories, the past couple days about what an awesome human being that Animal was, just in general, like outside of wrestling, like he was a great father and great friend and all that. So it made it, extra sad of the passing. But they were the only tag team I ever truly really liked. Like I liked the Rockers, but that was because I liked Shawn Michaels, I liked LOD as a tag team. I didn't like them separately. I didn't like the LOD 2000 that Smitty was talking about. I mean, only because I'm an old school mark, so I like when wrestling is done a certain way.
I'm not saying I liked LOD 2000. I said I liked the story that led up to LOD 2000.
Oh, well, you could see how I could misconstrue that, huh? Anyways, greatest tag team hands down. Nobody will ever touch them. That's and it sucks that at 60 years old, the day after celebrating his wedding anniversary and a week and a half after he turned 60, he's no longer here. That's kind of a one of those moments where you're like, oh, you really can go at any time for any reason. So It sucks.
Nick, your thoughts, memories, Road Warriors.
I mean, that was growing up, that was the tag team that we emulated when we would wrestle the Wrestling Buddies. Like I had Big Boss Man, Hulk Hogan Wrestling Buddies, and me and my buddy would be LOD, and we would do the Doomsday Device off of my bed.
and that's
really
how he got his small hand.
That's right. I remember specifically SummerSlam 92, and as a kid, I didn't know any better. Like, obviously you didn't know that Animal was, or Hawk was, fucked up in the ring, because I didn't really pay that much attention, but
so the whole feud, Jeff Hardy.
Right. The whole feud with Money Inc. leading up to that, I love that. It was a great feud, and the build up to that match. I was so excited that was, I believe that was the opening match of SummerSlam 92, and them coming out on the motorcycles with, Paul Ellering, and that whole thing was just awesome. And, it wasn't the Hart Foundation, which, it's nothing to take away from those guys or, any of those other tag teams like the Rockers, but LOD, once that music hit and you heard that and that pop, I mean, that gave me chills as a kid, because it was just so overwhelming to see that type of power and their presence. They were the quintessential tag team of that era, and for all time.
Well, thanks for joining, man. Do you have any memories or anything like that about the Road Warriors, or specifically Road Warrior Animal, that you'd like to share in the wake of Animal's passing?
Yeah, kind of a lot no different than what Z was saying. Is the Road Warriors or Legion of Doom. They were my favorite tag team as a kid, just because the music and the face paint and the spiked shoulder pads. Like, before I ever saw them in the ring do anything, it was just like, oh, these guys are badass.
Yeah.
Had that immediate like, oh yes, those guys. I don't know who you are, where you came from, but yeah, you guys are a way better version of Demolition. but yeah,
he's not lying.
But I think the one thing about the Road Warriors that stands out the most to me was when they tried to do the whole gimmick with Draws and added him as a third guy, and they used Hawk's real life problems. Like, that stands out to me, not for the most positive reasons, because like even now, like going back watching, I'm like, that's tough to watch.
That's what you're talking about, when he fell off the top of the Titantron.
Yeah, and then it wasn't too many years after that where Hawk unfortunately passed away. Mm-hmm. So I mean, and now unfortunately, I mean, Animal leaving at a very young age too. Only 60.
Yeah,
and he was still sort of active, right?
Yeah, he was. You go around, you see him at different conventions and stuff.
He was also performing at some indies.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he was going to be in the Battle Royal at Bound for Glory this year, is what it sounded like.
Yeah, man, that's unfortunate, very sad, but yeah, hands down, like one of the greatest tag teams of all time there, and unfortunately, we have neither one of them are with us now, which is just crazy to think about.
It's really crazy to, like you said, think about, like all of you said, like this is a team that was just so iconic for us growing up in wrestling. It's one of the original gimmicks that brought you in from the look before you saw the work, and the look matched the work because they looked hardcore, they looked badass, they looked Mad Max as fuck. And when they went in that ring, they were beating the shit out of people. They had a reputation as one of the stiffest tag teams to work with. They have a myriad of accomplishments. Like Smitty said, the only tag team championship that they didn't win was the ECW tag team championship during that time. and the National Wrestling Alliance, National Wrestling Alliance's, the NWA's Hall of Fame as of class of 2002. They went into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2011. They won so many different awards. It's ridiculous. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, these guys were the tag team of the year in 1983, 1984, 1985, and then 1988. They had the feud of the year in 1987 when they teamed with Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff against the Four Horsemen. And Pro Wrestling Illustrated ranked them the number one of the 100 best tag teams during the PWI years in 2003. They just transcended the business. And anytime you saw them, even still when you saw Animal, it was just the look, right? There was always the look. And you saw them in person, always rocking the shoulder pads, always rocking the face paint, you know, at conventions and everything like that. And you just got to think about what that may have done, what they may have done so much to shape kind of the business now. Because like I said, they were, when you saw them, it was the gimmick before the match, right? And that's kind of what WWE is now has been trying to do for years. Make a gimmick before the match, try to get you involved with these people. But the problem is wrestling is kind of different now. So it's not really working as well, right? But for so long it was because of that. You know, there was the cartoon characters. Road Warriors were a cartoon fucking character look, right? And then eventually wrestling got kind of away from that, but they were still relevant even in the times where wrestling was getting away from the cartoon look, because their cartoon, their gimmick matched what they were doing inside. Yeah, I can't say anything bad about Animal, because you're right, Z. All the stories coming out about him are just how good of a guy he was as well, just how much he gave back to the business. And it's something you can't match. You know, you got to think about it. These guys were exemplary in everything, from their look to their match style to how they handled themselves outside of the ring to how they gave back to the business. You know, that's what you want in anybody that you look up to, anybody that you idolize. You want to know that they were of the upper echelon in everything they did, everything they do. And Road Warrior Animal himself is one of those guys, and that's awesome. I wish we had a bell. I don't have a bell. Normally we do the 10 bell salute, but we don't have a bell. So Road Warrior doesn't get a bell. Oh yeah, you're at work. Is it? No, don't do it. There's like an event going on. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm in the kitchen right now.
Yeah, I understand. Don't do it. You're at work. You're working. You were already an hour late. You don't need to piss people off any further.
I'm not gonna ring the bell. I really wanted to ring the bell.
Good job, man. Good job. So Z, you made kind of a mention of it earlier. We're going to talk about this before we go into our Clash of Champions picks on the Pro Wrestling Scorecards. Everybody, make sure you go to ProWrestlingScorecards.com, fill out your own Clash of Champions prediction scorecard. Z, you made mention of it. Raw is fucking horrible.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
go into it. Just go into it, Z.
All right.
Somebody go mute.
Okay. During COVID, I kind of checked out of wrestling. Like, just stopped watching as a whole. Like, I'd go back and I would review, but it'd be more like bullet points. Like, it would be on my DVR. And if I didn't like something, I would just DVR through it, or, you know, whatever. I've been watching wrestling again lately, like live as it happens. And of the 4 shows on TV right now, Raw is by far the worst. And I mean, it shows in their ratings, but nothing makes sense. They book week to week. The only storyline really with any longevity is the Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins, and whatever the fuck is going on in that. But it does.
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
I mean, at least that has longevity. And also Drew and Randy Orton, they're kind of drawing that one out. But everything else, like the retribution angle, started out with a lot of potential, and it was slow build, and it looked like they were going to do a very, very slow build for this. Like for the longest time, you didn't know they would show up and then they'd leave, and you wouldn't hear from them until Raw or SmackDown. Like, and then they hit the gas on this thing, and they've recently, went from like them not talking to talking, and now that they're talking, now we've seen their faces, but we see the faces of Dominic Dijakovic, Dio Madden, Shane, where you can't really see Shane Thor's face, Mia Yim, and Mercedes Martinez. We knew that Mia Yim was in the group the minute we saw a Ninja Turtle under a ski mask. We were like, that's Mia Yim. So,
Leonardo, baby.
But now it's weird because it's like they're treating NXT fans like idiots, because like you think I'm dumb, like I don't know, like I watch your product every single fucking week, right? Like I'm a WWE fan, so I watch your project in one way, shape, or form. Then they went out and changed their names without even like mentioning, like, even if you were like, hey, this is T-Bar, formerly known as Dominic Dijakovic, that's cool. Then you're at least acknowledging that it's Dominic Dijakovic, or you're acknowledging that it's Dio Madden. Like Jerry Lawler was on commentary with Dio Madden, but didn't make any reference to be like, it just doesn't make sense. So I think in order to save this, it has to have a leader, and it's got to be something that makes sense. It's got to be something that pulls the whole storyline together. Otherwise, it's just going to be another failed faction, and you ruin another set of NXT crop coming up to the main roster. And it's just becoming old at this point. And fans are sick of it. That's why their ratings are so low. And the one thing that I don't understand is Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon are the two people that run both shows, right? So how is one so bad and the other one is actually really fucking good right now? Like SmackDown,
Roman Reigns.
But every storyline on SmackDown has longevity to it. You may not like who's in the feud, but at least the stories they're telling over on SmackDown make sense. Like even with like I don't know. I think Raw needs help, and like the Raw Underground thing. You had the big fucking monster dude that was undefeated lose to Braun Strowman in what looked like two babies going at it for a while, because they were just swinging arms like windmills and none of them were hitting at first. It wasn't until they grabbed onto each other that it actually looked like a good match. And it didn't even look that good in the first place. Like, it was absolutely terrible. You ruined the only intriguing thing to come out of Raw Underground. Like, they just keep shooting themselves in the foot on Raw, and I don't understand why.
There's the Dabba-Kato thing. The Dabba-Kato thing. Braun Strowman on Raw Underground. Yeah, that shit was terrible. It reminded me of that Simpsons episode when Bart and Lisa tried to fight each other, and Bart just started swinging his arms, and then Lisa started kicking her feet. That's kind of what came to mind when I was watching it.
Yeah, especially when like Braun Strowman did like what looked like he was trying to be a windmill for a minute. I mean, he was literally, throwing his arms like that, which is it didn't make sense, especially for someone who's got a moniker that says "get these hands," like not "get these windmills," "get these hands." Like, you're supposed to be able to throw hands, and it was apparent that he has never ever squared up with anybody in his life.
He was the fat kid growing up. That's what he said. Nick, what are your thoughts on Raw? Or on the product as a whole that we're about to talk about tonight?
I have to agree with Z completely. And Raw is booking their show a week at a time. And some of the storylines have been kind of drug out a little bit, but at the same time, there's nothing there that makes me interested in them whatsoever. Maybe the Seth Rollins one a little bit, but it's not like I'm sitting here like, okay, what's going to happen with Seth and Ray this week? It's just, if they end up on the show, I'm like, okay, cool, or whatever. The Retribution thing, I thought, started off kind of strong back when they first were introducing that group. But there's so many holes in it now. It makes no sense. And I completely agree with Z. And he said there has to be a leader. There does have to be a leader. And it got brought up. There were a couple ideas that I heard over the week, like Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe might make sense as a leader for Retribution because they try to put him on commentary. You're not giving me any work, this, that, and the other, whatever. Maybe Kevin Owens, but there has to be a prominent leader, not like all of a sudden Joe Blow comes out and he's the leader of Retribution, because at the same time, then all of a sudden, who gives a shit about T-Baw's left eye and chili? You know what I mean? So
slap dick.
Yeah. And SmackDown, SmackDown has gotten better. It seems like every week the show is a little bit better. I find myself actually watching SmackDown as opposed to watching, the Cliff Notes on Raw. I did watch Raw this week, but it's 3 hours of my life I'll never get back.
And not only, but then again, this week they gave Retribution contracts. Like, you've been calling them vandals and all this shit, and they've been setting shit on fire, and you gave them contracts. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, in real life, you don't go, oh, hey, you've been destroying my shit, you want to work here? Like, it doesn't work like that.
And they're like, oh, well, yeah, okay, cool, let's sign that. All right, now fuck you.
Nah, you go to jail.
Yeah. And then they're on the biggest fuck up was Dijakovic didn't change something about his Twitter handle and started twittering as T-Bar or whatever, but it would literally say T-Bar Dominic Dijakovic WWE or whatever. But he would comment on ratings and stuff, and it's like, wait a minute, if you're supposed to be this militia group, you shouldn't give a fuck about ratings. Ratings don't matter. Nothing matters to you except this, you coming here to wreck the WWE. Now it sounds like you want to be a part of this company that you wrecked. It just there's just no concrete ideas. It's literally like they're throwing shit at the wall and nothing is sticking. So
it really sucks. It sucks that they've taken guys like Dijakovic, especially Dijakovic and Yim, who had pretty prominent roles on NXT, not necessarily at the moment. They didn't have, a big storyline going, but they were some of their top talent. Like, both of those wrestlers have a tremendous amount of talent in the ring. And now you're in some bullshit group with these weird fucking names and just, the eighth thing that doesn't make sense of it all.
It's so T-Bar, okay, tweeted out about the contract situation. He goes, WWE offered us contracts because it was financially cheaper than all of the security guards we kept injuring. We signed the contracts to pay for our hired guns to do our dirty work. Our goal is still to destroy our current employer, WWE. And then he goes, yes, WWE is paying us to destroy their company because we were successfully destroying it regardless. They think if we are under contract, they can contain/manage our chaos, but they will be unsuccessful. Stop overthinking literally everything. #retribution. That's not overthinking. It's something that does not make sense at all. It's not an overthought. It just doesn't make sense. And you're trying to get us to fucking... Yeah, you're trying to get us to be involved in that. It's fucking stupid. Well, what are your thoughts on the Raw situation and Retribution?
Why are you guys trying to put logic into wrestling? That's your problem. like seriously, the most over character ever was the Undertaker. He was a dead guy. Like, okay. Like, come on, don't be logical when it comes to wrestling. They don't book logically, so don't think logically, and then you'll enjoy it more. Turn your brain off. I'm telling you guys.
I try to turn my brain off. But yeah, Raw.
It's more so just Raw. Everybody else kind of books logically.
Can I talk, Smitty, or no?
No.
But Raw is very it's difficult to sit and watch the entire way through without fast forwarding. And for me, I think it's because there's not too many people on the Raw roster that I actually care to watch. Like, I mean, I like Seth Rollins, but I'm like, man, I've never disliked Rey Mysterio, but it's just never done it for me. I've never tuned in a show like, oh, Rey Mysterio. I've never done that. I like Drew McIntyre. I like Randy Orton. I like the Raw Underground bit just because they're featuring Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler has something to do, so I don't mind that. I do enjoy the Hurt Business, but they're run out of people to beat up, and they're run out of black guys to add to their thing and beat up as well. So I don't know how much further that's gonna go. But I mean, outside of that, like, yeah, like I actually agree with you guys. Like, we're all like a few spots here or there. I'm like, okay, but yeah, it's a lot of fast forwarding for me.
I think the whole thing behind it is a lot of people are really starting to get pissed off at how, like, you can invest yourself into a character on NXT, which is a WWE brand. And then the minute they touch anything outside of NXT, for the most part, you're just like, what the fuck is going on here? Now, granted, I used to be in the playing devil's advocate left and right. Like, look how they're doing using Kevin Owens. Look how they're using Sami Zayn. Finn Balor was the first Universal Championship. Like, they didn't fuck everyone. Some people just don't get over, right? Ascension, great tag team in NXT for that crowd. The minute you take it to the main stage, it just kind of just fell flat, right? AOP, I thought AOP was going to be huge on Raw, but injuries fucked them, right? So it's not like they destroyed AOP. AOP just got the front end of the stick. Same thing with fucking Finn Balor. Finn Balor was skyrocketed right when he came in, beating Roman Reigns, and he became the first Universal Champion. The problem is shoulder separation, right? And then they let him flounder and everything like that. But to bring these 5 people up who are names, like Dio Madden was one of your commentators, man, that had a huge angle with Brock Lesnar. Like, and not small angles coming at Brock Lesnar, put that motherfucker through a table, right? Huge fucking thing, disappeared off of commentary and stuff. People know who the fuck he is. Dominic Dijakovic, you think Keith Lee is big? Keith Lee and Dijakovic had fucking matches in NXT. They're known. Same thing with Mia Yim. She went around. Candice LeRae, she was next to Keith Lee, featured in these high caliber matches. These are people that when you brought up, we knew who they were, and you just shit on them. And you can't argue that it just looks more like the minute someone from NXT comes to Raw or SmackDown is the minute they're no longer what you like. It's going to take some sort of getting used to, but you can't really get used to stuff like that. And it's kind of like you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're shooting yourself in the leg, fucking Cheddar Bob style.
Which is why Triple H should be the leader of Retribution, because, and then they could tie it all together with, oh yeah, I changed his name to T-Bar to show Vince how stupid it was to change people's names when they come, like they could play into that, and then it'd be like a Survivor Series match for Power of Raw. And whatever, however they go with it.
So what you're saying is everybody should give them a chance to and not crap on it right away and give them a chance to see where it goes.
But
that's a novel idea.
Right, no, you're absolutely right. But at the same time, it's been going on for 2 months, and just the pacing of the storyline is what doesn't make sense. But I am trying to give it a chance. But if it comes out that if CM Punk can't be the leader, I mean, yeah, it'd be a good pop, but he would overshadow everybody in the fucking group. So that really wouldn't help the group. I mean, so it might be something that WWE
Triple H wouldn't
do. But if it's Triple H, you could then make it all make sense. And then going forward, you're like, it would kind of be like Aces and Eights, where you're like, okay, that fucking made sense. But at the time that it was going on, it didn't make sense. So as long as they bring it full circle, it'll be okay. I just don't see it happening because they're starting to run out of options by the way they're booking it.
Well, the other real problem is, and I know, Walt, you're saying don't put logic into wrestling, but if you're then thinking about Triple H coming in, these guys have already had WWE contracts. It's not like they were fired or anything like that. They were in NXT. You know what I'm saying? So if you're doing this, if you're going, oh, we give them WWE contracts, it's not about not logic. It's just literally, duh, they are already in there. So when you it's you throw something that's so unbelievably bad into the middle of something that you're already kind of wishy-washy on, it automatically takes you into the negative of it, right? Like, and if Triple H comes out, well, I did this too, and I changed their names to show how stupid it is. Okay, but what about this contract thing? What about this? What about that? Like, there has to at least be, when you get to that end game, while it doesn't make sense as it's going on, then you can at least look back and go, all right, fluidly, I see how this flowed, right? I see how this worked in. There were some kinks or anything like this, but at least overall, when it got to its end, it was something that made sense. Like The Rock and Hulk Hogan match, WrestleMania 18, right? Those guys were wrestling, and in the middle of it, or somewhere in the beginning, that's when Rock said, we got to flip. I got to wrestle like a heel, and you're going to have to wrestle like the good guy because nobody's buying anything else. And the way they worked that match, it made sense. You know, the fucking CM Punk leaving WWE storyline, you know, it seemed stupid as fuck at certain times with the whole things that CM Punk was trying to say to stay or come back and stuff like that. But eventually, when you got to the end of it, it was all something that when put together in the overall storyline, you went like, all right, cool. I can see how that works. You know, there's just the way that they're booking this over a 2-month time period, like Z said, is the problem. This isn't like, oh, they named them and now it's all of a sudden stupid. No, this whole thing has been dumb since like the 3rd week, because they were going for every show. Now they're only on Raw. Now they're getting names. Now they're getting like everything just seems to be taking this down. And when you're putting something over a timeline of 2 months, you eventually got to make something work for it to be relevant. I just can't see them doing that right now with this.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's it. and that's the only thing with it. Like I'm not sure. I have always tried to be the beacon of the devil's advocate, the beacon of light, and whatever it was. But this is a storyline that just is progressively getting worse. And eventually, you kind of got to let it go.
Well, and like I said,
that's the thing with it.
It's got to either be a big reveal or you just, and it with the name like Retribution, you just assume like, oh, these are people that didn't get chances. Everybody, all 5 of the members, except for maybe Shane Thor, were in main events. Like Mercedes Martinez was in a main event on NXT 3 weeks ago. That's why like her being in the group and not having a name doesn't make sense.
Yeah, she hasn't even had a whole lot of time to have something happen to her where she's like, you know what, fuck this and fuck this company. And they just brought her in and started promoting her as this badass in NXT over the last month.
Yep.
Right. So like it kind of insults the intelligence of your NXT fans, because then it's like, oh, clearly you don't think anybody watches this show because you don't think we should know who any of these people are. When the first time you heard Dijakovic's voice under the fucking ski mask, you were like, all right, that's one. So I don't know. I would have just, if it were me, I would have had them destroying shit a little bit longer, maybe like on a bi-weekly scale at first, not have them talk for maybe 2 months, especially if you're building Survivor Series. You still have 7 more weeks of Survivor Series, and the way they're crash coursing this fucking storyline, they're not going to have anything in 7 weeks for Retribution to do.
And then even like you said, insulting the NXT fans' intelligence, what about just making it seem like you can't get involved in anything NXT because it's about to go to shit anyway? Why do I give a shit about anything happening in NXT if the minute it touches a Raw or SmackDown, it is not what it was. It is nothing. It is something completely different. I can't deal with that.
That's because it's a different audience. That's why Raw, the basic Raw audience is a combination of a wrestling audience. The NXT audience is an NXT audience. You have two. It's a different audience. That's why you can't do the same thing on Raw with guys that you can do in NXT. Like you said before, like other acts have gotten over in NXT and were hugely popular, but when you hit the mainstream wrestling crowd, because that's what Raw and SmackDown is, those guys, it's not the same audience. It becomes less about how good you are in the ring and the ring work and all that other stuff. It becomes more about the entertainment value.
I agree with that. However, there should be a proper, for lack of a better term, evolution, right? It should, your character should be growing. If you have to be different for WWE, for the Raw or SmackDown stage, because it's a different type of audience, it's a mix, that means there's still some people involved in that are watching that you're automatically killing off.
Mikey,
right? So you're already losing.
But evolution is a mystery.
Yeah. Fuck. But NXT, I mean, does a really good job because their roster is always changing. So they've done a really good job at filling holes like on the fly for, like 5 of your main event players just got called up and now you got to build new stars. But they do it the right way. And not only that, but it also, with them losing superstars, as many superstars as they lose a year and have to refill holes, it keeps it fresh. So you never really get that boring period with NXT because it's always a match you haven't seen because they're always cycling new people in. So keeping it fresh like that.
Bo Dallas is coming.
I don't think it's Bo Dallas, but maybe. Either way, that'd be cool. All you have to do is Bo leave.
But yeah, look, we could shit all over Retribution left and right, and you're right. There might be something at the end of this that ties it all together, but currently, as it stands, you're looking at it as a fan. If you were engaged and involved with these guys and women at all in NXT, you're not anymore because you just took it away from what you were building. The best things in wrestling have an emotional connection, period. Right? We just talked about Animal and Road Warriors and how as kids we were like, whoa, they're badass, right? And they continue to be badass. And it's something that stuck with you and you had some sort of thing involved with it.
WrestleMania 30.
Whoever your favorite you didn't want to jump on that, Walt? I was expecting you to jump on that.
WrestleMania was emotional because seeing Undertaker's streak come to an end, that was nuts.
Again, some of the biggest things in wrestling are emotionally based, emotionally driven. So when you're automatically taking someone who you have built up and had some sort of emotion for, whether it be positive or negative, and you just absolutely kill it, you kind of cut the head off of that character and are expecting them to grow a new head and still emotionally resonate with the fans. And it's just not something that is very a smart business long-term decision. So again, that being said, it's difficult to pay attention to that side of WWE right now. 1/3 of WWE just seems to be rubbing you raw.
No, they're fucking you with a tennis pole. That's what they're doing.
What?
They're fucking you with a tennis pole.
I just think it's fucked up that Raw's the one that's suffering because that's Vince's baby. So you'd think that it would be like SmackDown or something that would be bad.
Well, but SmackDown's on network TV. Suffering. SmackDown's on network TV. Raw isn't.
No, solid.
Yeah. SmackDown is the one that they're trying to, as they're bringing everyone in for. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time for us to go into our pro wrestling scorecards picks. Smitty himself is the champion because, man, we fucked up. That's why, really. It's just what it is.
No, it's because you actually gave him the fucking belt.
And what have I done with the
You
belt?
shouldn't have given it to him.
I'm the greatest promoter.
What?
I'm the greatest promoter with that belt on this damn show.
I'll give you that. I'll agree that you do fucking make our belt more mainstream, but still, fuck you. You shouldn't have it.
I hate her.
So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go to ProWrestlingScorecards.com or digital.ProWrestlingScorecards.com. If you get the digital one, man, you go in. Currently, there's 123 people that have filled out a Clash of Champions scorecard. We're going to be filling ours out. Some of us live right now on air, but we are taking on the Pro Wrestling Scorecards people. Us 5 versus their 5. Currently, they are in the lead. That's what they're doing. They're winning. It's stupid.
By like what, 11 points or something?
I'm going to tell you specifically right now what they're doing, how they're winning. They are up 36-25. Yes, 11 points. Nick is our leader with 12. I'm in second with 8. Smitty's in third with 4. Z is in fourth with 1. And Walt is bringing up a big old goose egg. However, let's remind everyone that Walt said he planned to do shitty for the all-out stuff. So that's fine.
Yeah,
we knew this
he'll
was
be all
coming. All right. They are leading 36-25. Like I said, Oscar.
So in other words, we're giving them a handicap with Walt.
Your handicap.
I'm handy capable. I'm the
not
champ,
wrong.
bitch.
Did you just say you're handy capable?
Yes, he did. He just insulted.
What a great audience. What a great audience. Smitter. Oscar is in lead with them with 15 points. Jesse has 10, surprisingly. Daniel with 6, Michael with 3, and Mario rounding it out on the bottom with them for 2. So yeah, we're gonna make our predictions after tonight. Breaking Down the Ring is not going to be releasing the lead in the pro wrestling in BDR versus PWS 4. We will be kicking all of the ass. So let's start this off. Smitty, you're obviously last because you suck. Or, I mean, you're the champion, so you go last. Everyone else would be picking around you. So I am going to start this off. Up next, then will be Z, then Nick, then Walt, and then it'll rotate with each pick, obviously rounding out with Smitty finishing it off. So first match is the Intercontinental Championship match. Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. The winner, I have Jeff Hardy. I have Sami Zayn as the first person to climb the ladder. Jeff Hardy is going to be the first to hit the ladder. AJ Styles is going to be the first to touch the belt. Last to touch the belt and lose is going to be Sami Zayn. And the amount of aerial moves, I'm going to put at 11. Z.
All right. I have Jeff Hardy winning the match. Sammy being the first to climb. Jeff Hardy being the first one hit with the ladder. Sami Zayn being the first one to touch the belt. AJ Styles to be the last to touch the belt and lose with 7 aerial moves.
All right. Nick.
I actually have our good old buddy, old pal, Sami Zayn winning the match. AJ is going to be the first to climb it. Sammy is going to be the first hit. First to touch the belt will be AJ. Last to touch the belt and lose is Jeff with 6 aerial moves.
All right. Walt.
Starts with a W.
Ends with an alt.
Hey, sorry. We're involved in an intense game of backyard football here.
Oh, fair.
Yeah. So for the Intercontinental Championship, I have Jeff Hardy winning. First to climb the ladder is Sami Zayn. First to get hit with the ladder is Jeff Hardy. First to touch the belt, Sami Zayn. Last to touch the belt and lose is AJ Styles, and I have 6 aerial moves.
All right, and Smitty, you think a ladder match is only going to have 6 aerial moves?
Got
So okay, so that was my
7.
question.
Hold
Like,
on, Smitty,
I
hold
mean, well, no, my question, because it's like, is it what's considered an aerial move? Like, if somebody just gets knocked off a ladder, or like, is it only top rope? Or like, I mean,
okay, so
anything from above the first rope, I believe.
Hold on, let me pull up the official rules. That's right, you haven't been. You're kind of new to the scorecards, so an aerial move is like anything off of the ladder. Like it doesn't have to connect. Like if someone jumps for an elbow and misses and lands, it's considered an aerial.
So it doesn't have to connect. They just can go for it. And okay, see, all right, that's what I was confused on. That's why it's at 6 because like so I'll change it. I'm changing it.
The official note is any offensive move attempted from elevated location and landing in a lower location will be counted. It does not need to connect.
Okay. Well, I switched to 10.
10? All right.
Yeah.
All right, Smitty, what you got?
I got Jeff Hardy winning. Sami Zayn is going to be the first to climb the ladder. Also going to be the first to hit the ladder. AJ Styles will be the first to touch the belt. Last to touch the belt and lose will be AJ Styles. I have 9 aerial moves.
9? All right. Up next is the United States Championship match. Bobby Lashley with the Hurt Business versus Apollo Crews with Ricochet. It's a really uneven amount of people. Winner, fall type, number of near falls, ±1, and will the match be over 10 minutes? Yes or no? Z, you're kicking this off.
I got Bobby Lashley winning by submission with 3 near falls, and the match will not be over 10 minutes.
All right. Nick.
I have neither winning with a no contest, 4 near falls, and yes to over 10 minutes.
All right. Walt. Walt.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I am. Sorry, I got drafted again.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. All right. So I got Lashley winning with a pin, 4 near falls. Match will not go over 10 minutes.
All right. I have Bobby Lashley by pinfall as well. 1 near fall, and no, the match will not go over 10 minutes. Smitty.
I had to unmute myself. I have Bobby Lashley by submission, 4 near falls, no to over 10 minutes.
You think he's going to submit Apollo Crews, UNZ?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, he hasn't been doing that damn full Nelson lately. His finish has been that full Nelson.
100%.
He's called it the Hurt Lock.
I know that's how he won it. I get that. I just don't think that. I personally, I didn't think they were going to have him do the submission twice in a row, just to establish dominance. But you guys could be right. I mean, hey, I'm not going to argue for 3 extra points for us. All right, up next is the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Street Profits defending against Andrade and Garza. If this seems familiar, it is. Who do you have for the winner? What is the fall type? Who makes the fall? Who takes the fall? Aerial moves, ±1. We're going to start with Nick, then go to Walt, then myself, then Z, then Smitty.
Well, I've got Andrade and Garza by pinfall. Andrade is going to make the fall. Dawkins will take the fall with 4 aerial moves.
All right. Walt.
All right. So I have you guys moving quick today. That's why it threw me off.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. So I got Andrade and Garza winning by pin, with Garza making the fall, Dawkins taking the fall. I got 6 aerial moves.
All right. I have Andrade and Garza also winning by pinfall. Andrade's making the fall. Montez Ford taking the fall, and 6 aerial moves for this one. Z.
All right. So I got a question.
Okay.
Has everyone picked Andrade and Garza to win?
Here.
Probably,
so far?
yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna pick the Street Profits just in case. Because I also, but then if they don't, we lose all them points. You get what I'm saying?
All right, but if they do, then we're still losing 3 points, and you could be
All
a
right,
0.
well, I have exactly what Nick has. I have Andrade and Garza by pin, with Garza pinning Dawkins with 4 aerial moves. So, yeah.
You guys are really light. I'll be honest, man. I think you guys are light with these aerial moves. It's Andrade and Garza and
no, my problem.
Ford.
Yeah, no, I get it, but my problem is I always overdo it. So I was like,
Yeah,
all
that's
right,
been my problem too.
So I'm like, all right. I've noticed that in AEW I underdo it, and in WWE I overdo it. So I kind of just keep it somewhere in the middle. And there's been a lot of times where I've hit the aerial moves for the two checks. So I'm gonna stay in my lane.
It's a good lane. It's a good lane, bro. All right, Smitty.
Yeah, I got Garza and Andrade winning by pinfall. Andrade pins Angelo Dawkins. I have 4 aerial moves.
See.
Actually, no, I got 5. Let me check. Look at this right now. I'm coming up from the basement. I got 5.
You got 5? All right.
Yeah.
Up next is the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Cesaro and Nakamura taking on Lucha House Party. We need a winner, fall type. Who makes the fall? Who takes the fall? And which Lucha House Party member is not in the match? Walt, you're kicking this one off.
All right, it's on me. All right, so I got Cesaro and Nakamura winning by pin. I just think outside the box. Shinsuke makes the fall, and I have Grand Metalik taking the fall, and El Dorado is not in the match.
All right.
That's his name, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Sure. Okay. It is now.
I have Cesaro and Nakamura also taking this match by pinfall. Cesaro making the fall. Lince Dorado taking the fall, but Grand Metalik is not in the match.
All right, so now just repeat that. Cesaro and Nakamura by pinfall, with Cesaro making the fall, El Dorado taking the fall, and Metalik being out of the match.
All right, Nick.
Pretty similar. Cesaro and Nakamura by pinfall. Nakamura making the fall. Dorado taking the fall, and Metallic is not in the match.
Smitty.
I got Cesaro Nakamura winning by pin. Nakamura makes the fall. Kalisto takes the fall. Dorado sits out.
Ooh.
Okay. He flipped it on its head, man. What the fuck? Up next is
there's gonna be like 2 aerial moves in the freaking ladder match, and Garza and Andrade are going to lose, and Lucha House Party is going to win. It's going to be the opposite of everything. It's going to be the opposite of everything.
I could see that. SmackDown Women's Championship match is next. Bayley defending against Nikki Cross. Need the winner, the fall type, match time ±1, finishers ±1, and will there be a Sasha Banks appearance? Yes or no? I'm kicking this one off. I have Bayley winning. I have Bayley winning by pinfall. I have the match time going at 13 minutes. I have the amount of finishers at 2. And yes, Sasha Banks will make an appearance. Z.
I have Bayley winning by submission with a 15-minute match time, 2 finishers, and no, Sasha will not make an appearance.
All right. Nick.
Bayley by pinfall, 12 minutes, 2 finishers, and yes to Miss Banks.
Waltz, sir. Right as he's walking away, we call his name.
But is it me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sorry. I got Bayley winning my pen. Match time 11 minutes. I got and 4 finishers, and Sasha Banks will make an appearance in some form.
All right, Smitty.
Bailey winning by pinfall. 12-minute match time. 2 finishers. No to a Banks appearance.
All right. We were talking about it earlier. I kind of want to sit for a second on this match because we were talking about earlier how they have done really well with the storylines on SmackDown and how they're utilizing longevity and long-term storytelling. Does anybody feel like maybe they pulled the trigger a little bit too early with the turn, or is it like perfect timing because it's something that we've wanted and expected for such a long time? Well, I'll start with you.
I think it's perfect timing for it. I expected it to happen at SummerSlam, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think it's good, and also you have the injury angle with Sasha Banks, so we know we're not going to get that match right away,
right?
So they can still sit on it and still continue to build it. So I think they're doing exactly what they're telling, exactly the story that they need to tell for this angle, and like I'm enjoying it. I mean, also I'm a Sasha and a Bailey mark as well. So I mean, I think they are the 2 most popular women in the company, and with exception obviously being Becky Lynch, but she's out. But those are your 2 most marketable. Those are your two most marketable female competitors they have, and they're both awesome in the ring. They're great on the mic. I love heel Bailey. Like she's like I love it. Even with the mom cut,
Karen Bailey.
Yeah. So I thoroughly am enjoying it.
All right, Nick. What about you, sir?
I'd have to agree with the perfect timing part. It seems like WWE has a tendency to do things a little bit too soon with a lot of this shit. And I thought the timing was great. I think the build's going to be, even better, especially with, like you said, the whole injury angle. I think it's going to be a while before we see these 2 square off. So I think it's working so far for sure.
Z, what do you think they're setting this up for? Do you think this is a Royal Rumble
Mania.
match, and then? Do you think it's going to be a Royal Rumble match that leads into a rematch at Mania, or do you think it's just the final? It's going to culminate at Mania right now.
Okay, so what I think they should do, I don't know, they probably won't, but they should draw this out so you just had Bailey attack Sasha again. Well, Sasha had like a neck brace on and shit. And it was another brutal attack. So now you keep Sasha out to the Royal Rumble, have her as your 30th entrant. She goes over, wins the Women's Royal Rumble, sets up the WrestleMania match between Bailey and Sasha for the revenge. Because it's totally believable that if you've had your neck crushed between a chair twice, you're gonna be out for a little while. It's like, so if she is there tonight, it's like, okay. Again with the I know I'm putting logic into wrestling here, but it is logical to think that if you have your windpipe crushed twice in 2 weeks, that you might need like 4 months off or something.
I mean, not if you're in a Young Buck match.
You only need 5 minutes.
True.
But my thought process on her showing
Hell in the Cell is coming up, so I mean that could be the end all be all with this feud too.
Oh, that'd be stupid.
No, there's too much money in this. There's too much money in this feud.
Right. So I'm hoping they draw it out till Mania. I really do. But I'm also saying
Walt.
that,
Now who's putting logic in wrestling?
Yeah.
I don't see. What? Just I've done 2 shows with you guys. You're already messing me up.
All right. No, we waking you up, son.
No,
shut up.
No. Nope. I don't even remember what my fucking thought was. No, but that's her being gone for 4 months. I don't think she's going to be at any point involved in this match. If I thought she was going to be involved, there's a possibility of Bailey losing the title and trying to get it back, just to break up the reign and not have it be Sasha versus Bailey for the title right off the bat. But I think maybe something, a backstage vignette or something that's making it seem like she's there, or her showing up on the stage just looking down just to distract Bailey for a little bit, and Bailey still somehow getting the win. I do not think that she's going to be involved into doing something like that. But yes, I agree, Z. If you're trying to make sense, you get your windpipe crushed 2 weeks in a row. Yes, you should be not wrestling for quite a bit. I agree with that. Up next is the Raw Women's Championship match. This is going to be this match that's on the kickoff show. Asuka defending against Zelina Vega. We need to know who's the winner, what's the fall type, will the match be over 10 minutes, yes or no, and how many aerial moves. Z, you're kicking this one off.
Hold on.
Okay. To what?
All right. So I have Asuka winning. I'm on the Asuka match, right? That's the match.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Asuka by submission. The match will not be over 10 minutes. There'll be 4 aerial moves.
Okay. Nick.
I've got Vega going over. I'm just kidding.
I couldn't stop laughing enough to get that out.
I've got Asuka by submission, no to over 10 minutes, and 2 aerial moves.
2 aerial moves. All right. Well.
All right. So I have the obvious selections.
Which are?
Oh, I assumed they're obvious. I thought you guys knew. Asuka submission, not over 10 minutes, 2 aerial moves. And I'm being like very generous with that too. So I think Zelina Vega, I think she's gonna jump off like the side of the ring or something on the outside of the ring, like from the apron or something at Asuka at least once.
I have 3. I couldn't read my writing.
Yeah. Did you not just? You didn't put this in on the website?
No, I did, but I have a printer now, so I printed it out so I don't have to have a laptop and you know what I mean to like see my picks.
Oh.
Yeah, so everything on my printout, it's the same.
Who buys printers now?
Right, yeah, like, oh my God. 2008 is really happy. Nick, are you back in college? Like, do you need printers?
I got a fax machine too. It's really weird.
Like, did you purchase it to just hey, I got a printer, or did you purchase it because Callie needed it for some homeschool stuff?
For Callie, so we can print out all of her shit and
Okay, that makes sense.
Wait, you totally just gave him an out. It's not the real reason, but he's gonna
That's 100%. Mikey said that. He's like, oh yeah, that is a great reason.
Yes, right on that. It's not like he wanted to print out random things just to put up on his wall and stuff. Look, I'm the champion now.
What happened was he got really drunk and made a purchase on Facebook Marketplace and bought a printer from somebody.
It's one of those big
ones. That means
ones.
you probably got a great deal because people have no idea how to price things on Facebook Marketplace. You can get things so cheap on Facebook Marketplace. Oh, I paid $20. I got this printer, 5 years worth of ink, and 8 things of paper. Oh, all right, I would have bought that printer too. Hell, I'm looking at a fridge right now just because it's $300. Like, right, I'll take a fridge.
I'll give you one for $50.
Is it as nice as my Facebook Marketplace ones though?
I have 3 of them. Come check them out. Tell me
why do you have so many fridges?
Right. Yeah,
I have a real fridge in the kitchen, a garage fridge, and a basement fridge.
What constitutes a real fridge?
Yeah,
like
as
the
opposed
nicest
to the
fridge.
other ones.
The nicest fridge is in the kitchen. The second nicest is in the basement, and the shittiest one is in the garage. Is that better?
So for $50, I can have your kitchen fridge.
Sweet.
For $50, you can have the basement fridge or the garage fridge. It's up to you.
75. I get the kitchen one.
No. Kitchen one is not for sale.
Your wife will kill you.
Yeah, 100%.
I got to come over with those masks later today anyway, so I'm probably going to stop by.
All right, cool.
Take your fridge.
Yeah, put it in your car. It'd be great. I have a mini fridge too now.
So do I. I have one of those in my game room. Up next is the Universal Championship match.
I got skipped over here.
Oh shit, we forgot about Smitty.
We just don't care. Go ahead, Smitty.
I have Oscar winning by submission. No, the match being over 10 minutes. 3 arrow moves.
Oh, I think we may have skipped over me too.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that everybody has the same thing for more
I
or
literally
less,
have
right?
the exact same. Yeah, I literally have the exact same thing as Smitty. Oscar by submission, no over 10 minutes, and 3 aerial moves.
Yeah, so, yeah. I feel like is it like I will say like when I first saw it, I was like, man, like why are they putting Oscar on the pre-show? Then I was like, oh, it's taking on Zelina Vega. Okay, I get it.
Right. It's not really a knock on Asuka. It's more of we don't have anything to do with her, and we know that this match is really predictable.
Yeah.
This is not the selling point of the Clash of Champions pay-per-view.
I mean, maybe if you're like Zelina Vega's relative, I mean you're pumped to see her.
I almost made
If
a
you're
joke
Aleister
that I
Black.
should not have made, so I didn't. No, that wasn't the one I was going to refer to.
Well, now I want to hear it.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you'll hear it. You'll hear it. Not on air. There's even some things I won't say. Up next is the Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman defending against family member Jey Uso. We need the winner. I need the fall type. I need how many near falls plus or minus 1. Time before the first Superman punch. And will there be a live Heyman promo during the entrance? Yes or no? Nick, you're kicking this one off.
Well, I've got Roman Reigns by pinfall. 6 near falls, 9 minutes before the Superman punch, and no to a Paul Heyman entrance promo.
Okay. Walt.
Oh wow. Okay, I was looking at the wrong championship there. All right, so I got the big dog winning by pin. Got 5 near falls. Like I don't think he's gonna do a Superman punch, but I got 6 minutes and yes to the Heyman promo. I don't think he's gonna do a Superman punch.
A Superman punch on Friday, like, took Jey Uso completely out of it, like, knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling you're gonna see at least one.
Yeah.
But I also understand where you're coming from, Walt, with Roman Reigns kind of being the heel now.
Yeah.
Getting away from them pop moves makes a lot of sense, like during a match.
And like
Well,
he hasn't
I don't know.
really been using them. He hasn't really been using the Superman punch since he's been back.
They've been having Roman do squash matches. He like waits till half the match is over, comes out, spears somebody, and pins them. That's been the MO the last 2 times he's
show up, win, leave.
Yeah.
Well, right.
That's
I
all.
mean, right. So I have a feeling like this match is going to be very, very, jobber worthy for Jay.
I don't think we'll get into that in just a second. I'm next. I have Roman Reigns winning by pinfall, 4 near falls, 8 minutes before the first Superman punch, and yes, there will be a live Heyman promo during the entrance. Z.
I have Roman Reigns winning by pinfall, 1 near fall, 2 minutes before the first Superman punch, and Paul Heyman will do a live promo.
Smitty.
Mute.
Unmute.
Got Roman pinned by pinfall, 4 near falls, 6 minutes before the first Superman punch. Yes, what Heyman promo.
All right. So yeah, let's talk about this match. Obviously, what it's doing. There's a lot of speculation of what this is leading to, which is
it's going to WrestleMania next year.
Which is why we're probably going to WrestleMania next year. Walt and I have kind of talked about it a little bit. Is like if the 2 storylines are leading to where it seems they're leading, it's kind of like we went from I'm not going to California for fucking WrestleMania. There's nothing around there. Fuck it. To dude, I gotta go to California for WrestleMania.
So it seems some breweries around there.
Yeah, it seems like there's. This is especially with the whole history of Paul Heyman with the family. It seems like that this could be Roman running this feud and ending with the top star in the family, possibly Roman Reigns versus The Rock at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship, which is huge, right? It's you get Rock back after a few years. Rock has already said that if there's anyone that he would come back for, it'd be Roman Reigns, and he would put him over. Then he said he didn't want to get in that talk. He's like, because like, oh, you give him the win now, and then we'll give you the win over Roman. He's like, oh, because it was some sort of, I think it was Instagram or something, but somebody asked him, and that's what he said. He would come back for Roman Reigns. And then, of course, the WWE Championship title seems to be leading towards Orton versus Edge at WrestleMania. We were talking a lot about that at the last pay-per-view. So it's very possible Orton goes over on this one. But so with Orton and Edge for the WWE Championship, Roman and Rock versus the Universal Championship, like Walt and I have our marks, who we mark out for. He marks out for Edge. I mark out for Rock, period. Like I've always been a Rock. I'm not apologetic about that at all. Right. Obviously, my number one is Kurt Angle because I'm actually intelligent. Right. Like I'm not just saying Rock's the best wrestler in the world. No, but always emotional connection. Like I was telling everyone earlier, wrestling is an emotional connection. And Rock was the first person that I like just watching, fucking being all the stuff in throwing the belt off of the bridge and everything. It's wonderful, man. It's fucking wonderful. Anyway, so yeah. Is that something that you think is viable? Does it make sense? Z will ask you first. Roman running through the family to be the big dog of the Samoan dynasty that has had the lineage inside of wrestling. Do you think that it's smart booking to have Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania?
Absolutely. I mean, especially the way they're building it right now, and they're doing a fantastic job. Because they're doing a fantastic job because they could easily write the narrative for Roman versus The Rock and have actual emotion set into it, or you could never do that match, and this still makes sense of what they're doing. And who knows, like maybe tonight after Jey Uso takes a beating, he now becomes part of the Samoan dynasty. That would be cool as shit too. Like that would be a good angle as well. So I mean, there's a lot of options they could do here. And of course I want to see Roman versus The Rock in any light. But again, you put logic and emotion into it, and it goes from being just a match to becoming a moment in history. So it's great. I think it's awesome.
Nick, what are your thoughts? And is there a different way you could see them building Roman? Like, let's say The Rock doesn't want to do WrestleMania. Could you see who else would you see Roman against at possibly WrestleMania?
Well, shit, I'm not really giving much thought to that because I mean the way that it's working out to be right now, that is a fucking moneymaker right there. I mean, not just at WrestleMania, but everything in between. I can't really say what I think would happen if The Rock didn't want to do it. But just this beginning of the storyline alone with Jey Uso going forward, will we see him versus Jimmy, or will we see other members of their family come into the picture, bringing other guys back, maybe not even for matches, but just to build that storyline. That is long-term booking at pretty much its finest. So I think that this is the way to go. You want to get more ratings on Fox. You want to, build this up to be something as big as it has been in the last decade. That's what you do.
All right. Well, obviously I was mentioning how we've been talking about this. Do you feel that this is the smartest thing for them to do? It is the biggest box office draw you can get at WrestleMania, Roman versus The Rock.
Yeah, because
for this title.
Because you have it's your first WrestleMania post COVID. Where this past year's WrestleMania was slated to be huge. I mean the top match was originally you're going to see Goldberg and Roman Reigns this year's Mania. So. And we didn't get that, and but because of circumstances beyond anyone's control. But yeah, I mean, I was really pumped when Roman returned, and the fact that he's with that he's with Heyman and how they're going about now. Like I feel like right now the Roman Reigns character now is more true to who Joe is, in real life.
Right.
He's not playing the character. He's being himself.
Right.
And that's he is just a big badass Samoan monster that will wreck you. And he'll take anybody out that gets in his way, and we're seeing that. And I mean, I've always been a Roman fan. I've been a Roman fan since day one. So the evolution of his character, I'm really enjoying. I'm digging it, and I hope we do get to that rock match at Mania. But also, I'm just really happy that Jay is just not hanging out on the sideline doing nothing while his brother's out. He's not getting Ivar'd right now.
You mean Eric?
Oh yeah, Eric. Yeah, Eric's the one. Yeah, Ivar's out. Yeah, Eric. Yeah. See, there we go. I can't remember the name of them, but so I'm happy that he's in a spot, and yeah, he's probably gonna get squashed and destroyed in his match against Roman tonight. But it doesn't matter. He's in the consensus storyline. He's on TV every week. He's been featured in a prominent position. I mean, that's what you want. That's what you want to do, and he's getting that opportunity. So I'm really enjoying it.
So Roman Reigns had made mention of looking different tonight. Someone was like, "I'm not going to wear a shirt" or something. Like, tune in to Clash. Do we actually think Roman Reigns is going to be dressed any differently than his normal character, Nick?
That should have been on the scorecard. Yeah, I think so. He'll either be in one of his t-shirts or shirtless.
Ooh, you excited for him to be shirtless?
It's the best part of the night.
All right.
No, I'm not. I'm not moving now for the rest of the day.
What, Smitty?
I'll explain it later.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Up next is the WWE Championship match, ambulance match. Drew McIntyre defending against Randy Orton. We need the winner. We need the match time. Move on or off the top of the ambulance, yes or no? How many unique weapon types and time before the first RKO attempt? Walt, you're leading this one off.
All right. So for the championship match, I'm going with my gut and saying Drew. And by gut I mean I flipped the coin 10 times. So I'm going with Drew. 15 minutes match time. Yes, to move on the top of the ambulance. 3 unique weapons and time before the first RKO attempt. I have 1 minute because I think he's going to go for it right off the bat.
Okay. I'm next. I got Randy Orton. I think this is the start of that build. Personally, I think there's been a lot of talk that the reason this isn't an ambulance match is so Drew doesn't have to take a pin and look a little bit weaker from Randy Orton. So Randy Orton to win this. I have 18 minutes for the match time. Yes, there will be a move on or off the top of the ambulance. I think there's going to be 5 unique weapon types, and 3 minutes is the time I had before the first RKO attempt. Z.
I have Randy Orton with a 24-minute match time. Yes to a move off the top. Unique weapon types, I have 2, and I think Randy's going to go for it right off rip, so I got 1 minute.
Okay. Nick.
Pretty similar numbers. Randy Orton going over 16-minute match time. Yes to the ambulance. 5 weapons and 2 minutes until we see an RKO.
Smitty.
I have Randy Orton winning. 16-minute match time. Yes, to move off the ambulance. 3 unique weapon types and 3 minutes before the first RKO attempt.
All right. Walt, they're going with Drew McIntyre. We were just talking about how we think that it's leading up for Randy Orton versus Edge. You think Drew's going to win here. When do you think then that they're going to give Randy the belt to eventually run it with until WrestleMania.
I
If
think
not
Survivor
tonight.
Series. I think Survivor Series. I mean,
I doubt they can Survivor. I think they're going to do the brand up versus brand thing on
Oh,
Survivor
yeah.
Series. Ain't no title going to be on the line.
yeah, I'm going with Drew McIntyre just because I like Drew and I like seeing him as a champion. Like that's my emotional pick. I'm going to be honest with you though. I'm probably going to change my pick at some point.
These are the final picks. What you pick here is final.
That's stupid. I don't want to get another donut.
You might with this pick.
Here's what you see. You guys are talking me out of it because everything else makes. See, I'm putting logic into stuff. See, this is what I mean.
Well, again, it's your choice, man. We're not. If you get another donut, we just get to really make fun of you. That's 2 in a row.
Yeah,
like you said
I know.
that AEW was your bad one. So if you get a donut here, then we get to knock you. And it's cool.
I'm gonna go with Randy.
Oh, switching it to Randy. Are you keeping all the other extras?
Yeah, I'm keeping everything else is staying the same. Yeah, but I'll.
And that, kids, is how peer pressure works.
I swear, I'm gonna be so pissed if Drew McIntyre wins.
It's gonna happen. I've thrown shit at the wall when they do shit like this to me. Like I fucking knew it. Those fucking assholes talked me out of it.
I'm not saying to change it. I'm just saying you got to think about this. If we are honestly building to a Randy Orton edge, when do you do it?
Right. Yeah.
Right. It could happen at a Hell in a Cell. You know, there could be like Randy could fucking go for a RKO and Drew sidestep and throw him into the ambulance, and then you see the win. You know what I'm saying? It could be something bullshit like that. But again, it kind of sets up for a pretty it could have a bullshit ending the way with the match type. But at the same time, Drew could go for a Claymore and Randy move out of the way, and now Drew's in the ambulance. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't make Drew look weak. We got the ambulance match with Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, right?
Oh yeah.
Where Roman went for the spear and was sidestepped. You know, it's very possible you can see that exact same finish and not make it look like the person who lost was weak, and give them some sort of longevity. But I think the smarter move is Randy winning something at Survivor Series. When's Hell in a Cell? Next month?
Yeah.
And then that be the finality of it. You know what I'm saying? Because they extended the first one because no finisher was hit. And it was kind of a weak, quick finish. That's how this thing, and then Randy became number 1 contender again. So that sets up for this second match. Now Randy wins, but now they have to have a best of and to see who wins the rubber match. And that's your Hell in a Cell match. You know what I'm saying? So again, it very well could be Drew winning, but if Drew wins, why does Randy get another shot?
Right. Yeah. And that's the other thing. Like, yeah. How does he, Randy. Yeah.
You better win.
Yeah.
All right.
You better win, Randy Orton. I know he listens.
You watching this motherfucker. Up next, the final championship match is the women's tag team championship match. The Riot Squad taking on the women's tag team champions of Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. I'm going to be leading this one off. We're going to need a winner, fall type, who makes the fall, who takes the fall, and how many legal tags. I have Baszler and Nia Jax retaining this. I have it by submission. I think Shayna Baszler is going to make the fall. I think Liv Morgan is going to take the fall. And the number of legal tags will be 5. Z.
I fucking hate you. Baszler.
I literally just picked mine off the top of my head.
Yeah, so did I. Baszler and Jax, submission. Shayna making fucking Liv tap with 6 legal tags, you fucking cocksucker.
You got 6. I had 5. I only had 5.
I know, but it's basically the fucking same thing.
I mean, it's kind of a well-written match. Nick.
Well, fuck you both, because I have Nia and Shayna by submission with Shayna making the fall, Liv taking the fall, and 7 tags.
All right. Walt, do you have 8 legal tags with the same picks?
Actually, I do.
Right. But he's playing football again.
He didn't know it was going to be quick. He didn't know we were all picking the same shit.
Right. It's kind of, Walt, what you got for the women's tag team match?
I'm having an issue. I'm having like technical difficulties right now with my Zoom meeting. So
that's fine.
But I have, and to answer your question, yes, I do have 8 legal tags. Everything else is the same.
Yeah, there it is.
So he has Baszler and Jax by submission, Shayna submitting Liv Morgan with 8 tags. I just wanted to get it all out there so Pro Wrestling Scorecards ain't got shit to say when we whip their ass. Smitty, please tell me you have 9 legal tags.
No, he's got 4.
I'm breaking it. I'm breaking the cycle. I got Jackson Baszler winning by Nia Jax pinning Ruby Riott with 7 legal tags. Because their whole thing is right now, from what I've been seeing, is they've been trying to one-up each other. And I think the last victory they took, Shayna submitted whoever it was.
Okay. Up next and finally is the match card position. What will be the opening match? What will be the third match? And what will be the 5th match? And what is going to be the match that closes out WWE's Clash of Champions for 2020 in the Thunderdome? Nick, you're leading. No, Nick, I led the Z. You're leading this one off.
Yeah. So my opening match is the SmackDown tag match. My third match is the U.S. Championship match. My 5th match is the WWE Championship match, and then the Universal match will be the main event.
Okay, that's really early for the WWE Championship match. Nick.
I've got the Raw Tag Team Championship match opening, the U.S. title as your 3rd match, the SmackDown Women's title as your 5th match, and Roman and Uso to close the night.
All right. Walt.
All right, so I have IC match opening, SmackDown 3rd, WWE 5th, Universal main event.
SmackDown Women's Championship or SmackDown Tag
Oh,
Championship?
sorry, SmackDown Tag Champion. Sorry, I didn't specify that. I do apologize.
What do you have for the 5th match again? I'm sorry.
The WWE title.
Okay, and the main event is the Universal?
Yep.
Okay. I have the Raw Tag Team Championship match opening up the show. My 3rd match is the IC ladder match. My 5th match is the Women's Tag Team Championship match. And the main event is the Universal Championship match. Smitty, what you got?
I got the IC opening, SmackDown tags at 3, SmackDown Women's at 5, Universal main event.
All right. So guys, Clash of Champions, like we talked about it, making these picks, some of them seemed really simple.
I got to roll. My battery's at 2%, and I got a shit ton of prep to do real quick. I'm bouncing off right now.
Bye.
I got a shit ton of prep to do because I was an hour late for work today.
That's how it happens. So yeah, Clash of Champions we were talking about. It's kind of like an easy pick overall for the show. Some of these matches seemed super predictable, including the opening match. Other ones, there's some thought going into it, especially more for other people than some. Where are you hoping this is on the grand scale? Like, we're not expecting a 10, right? Out of a scale of 1 to 10, you're not expecting a 10. No one's expecting a 10.
I am.
Nick, what are you? No, you're not. Nick, we'll start with you. What are you hoping for that this pay-per-view reaches on your scale?
I'm hoping for maybe around a 7.5.
And that's in the least. I'm not like, what are you hoping for the most? I'm like, because look, we would all love this to be a fucking 10, right? To blow our fucking minds. It'd be great. But you're just hoping for at least a 7, something that you can get, hey, at the end of the day, it was a really good pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not one of your big 4, so, let's make it a good pay-per-view.
Yeah. Walt, what are you hoping for?
I'm 7. Same.
What are you expecting?
I'm expecting the 6.5.
Oh, so not too much. Z, what are you hoping for and what are you expecting?
I'm expecting it to be about a 5.5, maybe a 6. And I mean, I'm hoping it's like a 7 or an 8, but it's probably the latter.
Right. I'm the same way. I'm also hoping for a 7. But I don't know, man. With some of the matches that you have here, obviously you have expectations of what's going to happen, but what people could do in the ring could honestly blow your mind. This ladder match, the triple threat ladder match, could be spec-fucking-tacular to watch, right? The ambulance match could be really fucking good. Let's not make it seem like the tag teams that are facing off for these tag title matches, for the Raw and SmackDown at least, aren't really good workers in the ring that could put on a solid show. I'm honestly expecting like a 6.5, but I'm hoping that I could just sit back and go, wow, 7.5. That was a really good pay-per-view. So
yeah, with the matchups, I mean, it has some good potential. But
seriously good potential.
What they do with it is completely different all the time.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So I guess that's going to be about it for us. Guys, make sure you're tuning in to Clash of Champions later tonight. You should do that. Fill out your own pro wrestling scorecard right now. Go to prowrestlingscorecards.com. You can fill them out. Sign up for the digital. Digital is free. You don't even have to pay any money to be a digital person and see what you hold up against the rest of the people who are filling out the digital card. Currently, like earlier, it was a grand total of 123. That was just an hour and a half ago. Now 139 people. So we've got 16 more people that have filled it out. You can keep it going, jump it up. Clash of Champions, it's fun, man. Just go play with it. Worst case scenario, at the end of it, you look at it and you go, that wasn't that fun for me. But it's not just WWE pay-per-views they're doing. Bound for Glory is going to be coming up. Full Gear from AEW is going to be coming up. The NXT takeovers, they also do all the scorecards for. So you guys want to get in on this and just have some fun, man. Fight your friends. Find out who's better. We're going to find out that Smitty really is just this big old fluke fuck champion. There's a reason he didn't hold it the entire 2019.
Always. It's always a fluke. We just let him have it because we feel bad. We're like McDonald's. We hire, special people.
Come on, he's not even here to defend himself.
Oh, I didn't know. My bad. I didn't know he wasn't here to defend himself.
He's like Calvin from the Chappelle Show when Getting Real goes wrong. Like, you work at McDonald's. I'm just working at McDonald's. Support this shit. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us. Make sure you go to breakingdownthering.com. You can get yourself some merch. You got the Breaking Down the Ring t-shirts. We have 2 of our charities that support one supports the Trevor Project, the other one that supports the NAACP Legal and Defense Fund. If you go to breakingdownthering.com, then you click on the official merch, then click on charities, you'll see those. Get yourself some. Again, 100% of the profits go to the charities that they support. It is the best way that you can help go and push for all of the proper things that you should be pushing for. Equal rights for everyone, defense equally for everyone, making sure that people understand what they're growing up with, get in the right headspace, because everyone deals with mental stuff and no one should have to worry about that, especially when they're going through a transition or just trying to figure out who the fuck they are. So, ladies and gentlemen, breakingdownthering.com. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. We are your ring crew.
Koenig 19.
I'm Walt.
I'm Z.
And me, the almighty one, Mikey himself. Thank you again so much for watching. We are out.